Okay, sit yourself onto your left and come into a good cross-leg position, just so that you're sitting evenly at the seat bones, and you can bring some levelness to the hips. Have a little wiggle about, make sure that you feel level. Just spend a moment to assess the balance of your seat bones. Feel how your feet connect to the floor. Feel how you can extend from the hips up into the armpits with levelness. Feel your lungs from the bottom to the top and empty them from the top to the bottom. Filling the lungs from the bottom to the top, emptying them from the top to the bottom, just looking at something that doesn't move so that your eyes remain still in the sockets. Just breathing evenly into both lungs, evenly out of both lungs. Drawing your attention into the present moment. Drawing your observation into the breath. And the breath happens as we are here. So the breath brings in energy to the physical body and to the brain, but it also brings our attention into the present moment. Take a deep inhalation, and with the exhalation, bring your hands into Namaste. Lengthen from your armpits into your elbows into the heels of the hands into the fingertips. And then gently allow your eyes to close. Fill your lungs from the bottom to the top and empty them from the top to the bottom. Breathing evenly into both lungs, evenly out of both lungs. Just maintaining your mental connection with the physical action of the breath. With an exhalation, draw your chin forwards and down to make contact with the chest, lifting the chest up to meet the chin. Just spend a moment to seek to generate a genuine, heartfelt sense of gratitude for something or someone or somewhere. Hold on to that feeling of abundance in the heart area. And then gently release the backs of your hands down toward your knees, palms facing upwards. Bring the tip of the index finger together with the tips of the thumbs. Just a gesture of wisdom, physical intelligence and peacefulness that we can carry into our practice as an intention. Raise your head, allow your eyes to softly open and the focus to softly come back. Just hold onto your knees, lift up into the chest, elevating the heart area upwards, drawing your shoulders down. Take a deep inhalation in through the nose and then turn to the right side, drawing your abdomen across, and your ribs and your shoulders. Observing whether there is resistance, whether there is freedom, whether there's balance at the seat bones. Come back to the center, hold onto your knees, lift up into the chest, and then turn to the left. Again, just observing how your body responds to the pose, whether it responds as you expect it to, or it responds in a different way. Maybe it's freer, maybe it's less free. Try not to judge it, just acknowledge, observe. Just sagely acknowledge the manner in which your body responds to the pose. Come back to the center. Come off your lift, sit back on your heels, big toes together and your knees apart, and then bring your hands, bring your shins down onto the floor, ready for Adho Mukha Virasana. Press the shins into the floor, lift up into the chest, so big toes together, knees apart, keep the seat bones connected to the heels, and then stretch forwards into Adho Mukha Virasana. Keep the head lifted initially, keep the seat bones in connection with the heels, and then bring the forehead down. Listen to the breath. Focus on long, slow, deep, deliberate inhalations and exhalations. Pressing the seat bones consciously down onto the heels. You can't see the seat bones and the heels most likely, but you can feel them. So use your sense of bodily awareness to acknowledge whether the seat bones are connected to the heels or not. Gently press the forehead into the floor, just giving quietness to the brain. Just listen to the sound of the breath. Focusing on long, slow, deep, deliberate inhalations and exhalations. Come up onto your knees, have your little fingers on the edge of the mat. Have your toes on the edge of the mat. Feel that your toes are on the edge of the mat with the feet. So feel where the body is. And then come up into Adho Svanasana. So have your feet wide, as wide apart as the mat. It gives you space in your hips. Turn the fronts of the thighs inwards. Remember to activate the thighs, lifting them up towards the tops of the legs. Tightening the kneecaps, pressing the fronts of the knees through to the backs of the knees. Keep the palms pressing firmly and evenly onto the mat. Listen to the breath. Let the head hang down. Observe, spend some time within the pose, observing the physical activity. Excuse me. Let the head hang down, let the tailbone lift up towards the ceiling. Let the face relax. Let gravity pull the face down to the floor. Lift the legs, lift the arms so that you're lifting up towards the apex of the triangle at the hips. Step your feet forward, up into a standing position. And then have some blocks for your hands. Just to start us off in half uttanasana, have your feet in line with each other, your toes in line with each other. Have the toes turning in a little, have the heels hitting out. So feel the edge of the mat with your heel. Feel the edge of the mat with your little toes. Have your hands on your hips, lift up into the chest, squeezing the elbows towards each other, activating the legs. Coming forwards with a straight back. Coming to half uttanasana. Be on fingertips, don't try and go down too quickly. Just observe the action of the legs and make the legs activate evenly. That takes some determined observation. Takes some discernment. So spend a little time, don't rush. Making sure that the legs are actively mirroring each other. If you want to go further, we're going to go into full uttanasana. So bring your thumbs into the crease of the elbows. Keep the back straight. Keep the legs straight as you hang down in full uttanasana. If this is too strong for your back, just go back to the blocks. Go back to half uttanasana. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. Turning the fronts of the thighs inwards, lifting the seat bones up towards the ceiling. Lengthening from the hips into the armpits, into the elbows. And then very gently release your hands down to the floor. If you're in half uttanasana, if you're in full uttanasana, just bring the hands into your hips, bend your knees on the way up, and then come up into Tadasana. So stand in Tadasana, have the inner edge of your feet together. Lift your chest. Elevate the heart area upwards. Lengthen the shoulders away from your ears. Just go back to the feet. Observe how the feet make contact with the floor. Turn the fronts of the shins inwards, tighten the kneecaps, hit the fronts of the thighs into the backs of the thighs so that your weight goes into your heels. Tuck the tailbone in. Draw the abdomen to the spine, lift the abdomen to the diaphragm region, draw the lower ribs towards the spine. Lift the heart area towards the sky. Lengthen your shoulders away from your ears. Bring your arms out nice and wide in towards your chest, and then step or jump your feet nice and wide for trikonasana. Turn your left toes in, right leg all the way out. So turning that right leg from the inside out, turning the back leg from the inside out. Reaching over and then finding the shin. Drawing the abdomen from the floor to the ceiling. Look up if you can. Just observe after a little while of looking up how your sinuses begin to clear. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. Soften the jaw. Just feel how the nasal passage connects to the ear. Okay, come back to the center. Swap the feet around. Turn the right toes in, the left leg and foot all the way out. And then come down onto the left side. Again, looking up. Turning the abdomen away from the floor up to the ceiling. Turn the legs from the inside out. Just feel how the nose connects to the ear. And then reach up, come back to the center, bring the feet parallel, and then step or jump your feet back together. Come back into Tadasana and just listening to the breath. Focusing on long, slow, deep, deliberate inhalations and exhalations. Bring your arms out nice and wide in towards the chest, and then step or jump the feet nice and wide. A little wider than for trikonasana if you can, go a little wider. Turn your left toes in, the right leg and foot all the way out. Keep this back leg straight by tightening the kneecap, and then bend the front leg. Find a right angle with that front knee. So bend this leg until the bones are at a right angle. Keep pushing into that back foot, keep that back leg straight. Turn the inner knee around to the outer knee of that bent knee. Do the same with the back leg. Listen to the breath. Try not to lunge over that bent leg. So reach into the other arm. Reach into the left arm. Okay, straighten the leg. Just bring your hands onto your hips. And swap the legs around, turn the right toes in. The left leg and foot all the way out. So this back leg stays straight. But one of the real kind of problems that happens with this pose, Virabhadrasana II, is sometimes we come over and then we just kind of lunge over that knee. So a really good way of avoiding that is to stretch up with the left arm. Do Urdhva with that left arm. Keep your right hand on your hip and then keep reaching towards the ceiling as you bend the knee. Find the right angle. Find your right angle. Keep reaching up. Stretch your right arm out and then look over the middle finger of the left hand. So bring the hips level. Try not to let the hips sink. Try not to let this front hip sink. This back leg suck out. Push that hip inwards with that straight leg so that the hips come level. So there's less of a curve of the spine. Okay, straighten the leg. Bring the feet back to the front. And then step. Or jump the feet back together, just come back into Tadasana. Just observe your energy, observe your breath. So you might want a block to reach on both sides. So have a block at the back of your mat where you're not going to jump on it, where you can reach it for parsvakonasana. Let's come back into Tadasana. Just find your balance, find the weight in your heels. Bring your arms out nice and wide in towards your chest, and then step or jump, go wide again, like wider than trikonasana, wide. Turn your left toes in, your right leg and foot all the way out, and then for a moment move through Virabhadrasana II. So lifting the chest up, trying to keep this back hip sucking in, so it's not doesn't just stick out. So then you don't have this kind of C shape with the chest. This back leg sucks in. Bring the left hand onto the hip, and then reach down with on the little toe side of the foot. Now a really good little cheat that we can do at this stage is to bring that hand onto the big toe side of the foot. So you can push against that knee and you can rotate the chest much more effectively. So you're trying to draw the abdomen up to the ceiling like you do in trikonasana. And then reach behind. If you can't reach, then use your block. Have your hand on the block. It gives you more space. Turn that top shoulder towards the back of the room. And then reach up and over, looking underneath the armpit. Keep that bent leg bent. Push the arm into the knee into the arm. Look underneath the armpit, breathe in and out through the nose. And then come back to the centre, bring the feet parallel. Just reset. And then turn the right toes in. The left leg and foot all the way out. Just bring your hands onto your hips for a second. Just get your breath. Maybe the sinuses feel a little clearer. Consciously turn the legs. Stretch your arms out. Keep that back leg straight and find a right angle. Keep sucking this hip in. Reach down, bring the right hand onto the hip. Reach down, find the outside edge of the foot. Keep bending that knee. Have a little cheat, bring the hand in front of the leg and then turn against the chest. And then bring the hand back to the little toe side. Reach up and over, looking underneath the armpit. Keeping that bent knee bent. Keeping that back leg straight. The lifted arm is a straight line with the straight leg. And then come back to the centre. Bring the feet parallel. And then step. Or jump the feet back together. And back into Tadasana. Just observe the sinuses. Just listen to the sound of the breath. Stretch your arms out, interlock the fingers, turn the palms all the way out, and then raise your arms over your head, squeezing the outer elbows inwards. Filling your lungs consciously from the bottom to the top, emptying from the top to the bottom. And then release your arms, swap the interlock of the fingers, turn the palms all the way out and then raise your arms over your head. And then release your arms. Just come back into Tadasana, lifting up into the chest, drawing your shoulders away from your ears. Okay, and then come down onto your knees. Have your hands shoulder width apart, coming back into dog down. Hands shoulder width apart, spread your fingers, step back, turn your toes under, and then come up into svanasana. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. Lifting the seat bones, just letting your head hang down, letting gravity pull the muscles of the face down to the floor. Let the top of the head see the floor. Concentrate on the pose from the inside, observing that balance of action that we were exploring at the beginning of the session. And then bend your knees, come down, sit back on your heels, and just spend a moment just in observation of how your energy has changed. Just observe how sinuses perhaps feel a little clearer. Maybe the fogginess in the head begins to lift. Come forwards into virasana. Just keeping the seat bones down on the heels, stretching into the arms. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders and then sit yourself back up again. Sit in cross legs. So come into cross leg position. You can sit on a lift if you sink like this in when you're sitting directly on the floor. Then sit on a folded blanket. Otherwise, roll onto the front edge of the seat bones and lift up into the chest. So there are different areas that we can breathe into. Sometimes we breathe into the apanic region, which is at the kind of base of the spine. Sometimes we breathe into the samanic region, which is in the abdomen. Often we breathe into the pranic region, which is in the chest. But one particular region is the udanic region here, and it's in the sinuses. And so we can flush out the sinuses with the udanic breath. So you take a normal inhalation and then you consciously aim the out breath. You push it into the sinuses like this. So it's a little bit heavy breather sound, but it's more than a heavy breather sound in fairness. It's like it's a bit like Darth Vader almost. So the sound at the back of the throat is much louder than a typical exhalation. But it's just a flushing action for the sinuses. So we're going to do a couple of rounds of udanic flushing breath. So maybe let's do 6. So just do it in your own time with normal inhalations, and then you flush the sinuses with the exhalation. So just a couple of normal breaths, a normal exhalation, normal inhalation, normal exhalation, normal inhalation, normal exhalation, normal exhalation, normal inhalation, and then we'll begin. 6 udanic exhalations with normal in-breaths in between. And then just bring the breath back to a normal rhythm. So it can make you feel a little lightheaded perhaps. So just observe how that makes you feel. We're going to do sukhasana, so you need a couple of blocks, one on either side of the hips, or just have one on the right side if you've only got one block. Lift up into the chest, elevate the heart area upwards, and then reach down. Bring the elbow onto the block. So onto the tip of the elbow onto the block. The elbow needs to be directly underneath the shoulder, not closer into the body, not further away. So bring that elbow underneath the shoulder, and then push down into that elbow, and then stretch across into that left seat bone, so that you don't just let all of your weight drop onto the right seat bone. Push that elbow into the block and then lengthen across into that left seat bone. Have the left hand on the hip, lift up and turn the chest like we did in parsvakonasana. Keep that left seat bone really firmly pressing down and reach up and over, and then some udanic exhalations. Bring yourself up and back to the center. Just bring yourself back to the center. Just some normal in-breaths, normal out-breaths. And then bring the left elbow down onto the block, reaching underneath that left knee. Make sure that the elbow is directly underneath the shoulder, and then push down into that elbow. Reach across into that right seat bone, so that you don't just press down into the left. Turn the chest like parsva, and then reach up and over, and then another 6 udanic exhalations. And then gently come back to the center. Just in the middle, just a few more udanic exhalations. And then just bring in the breath back to a normal rhythm. Hold onto your knees, lift up into your chest, and then turn to the right side. Drawing your abdomen across, ribs and your shoulders, just normal breathing. So if you suffer from a foggy brain, then this breath can really help to kind of clear out the fog in the frontal lobes. You've got to always do it with sensitivity and kindness, however. Don't just push it, don't force it, don't overdo it. Come back to the center. Hold on onto your knees. Feel the energy within the spine elevating the heart area to the ceiling. Take a deep inhalation. And then turn to the left. And then gently come back to the centre. Just come down onto your back and get yourself a bolster, and we're going to come into viparita karanhi. So have your bolster nearby, come down onto your back and just pull your knees in towards your chest. For a moment, just pulling your knees in towards your chest. Just have a little rock from side to side, from top to bottom. And then bring the feet close to the seat bones. Lift the seat bones up and then slide the bolster underneath your lower back. So that the tailbone is just hanging off the edge of the bolster. Gather your shoulder blades together so you come right up onto the tops of the shoulders, and then bend your knees and stretch your legs up into viparita karanhi. So staying on the tops of the shoulders. If from here you want to go upside down a little further, then you can bring the elbows right into the sides of the body. Stay right up on the tops of the shoulders, and then just lift yourself up off the bolster into sarvangasana. So walking your hands down into the kidney region if possible. Turning the legs inwards, keeping the legs straight. Pushing the heels apart, big toes together. And to come down, you just slide yourself back down onto the bolster and then stay in viparita karanhi. Stay on the tops of your shoulders. Just breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. Just a few more moments with the legs in viparita karanhi. And then bend your knees, bring your feet back down onto the floor. Just stay with the bolster underneath your back for a moment. Just resting into this restorative bridge pose. Just let your arms rest on the floor over your head for a moment. Just letting the armpit chest look up to the ceiling. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Okay, and then just lift the seat bones, move the bolster out of the way. And then just come up onto your elbows. Make sure you're in a really good straight line right down the centre of your mat. Get a folded blanket for underneath your head. And then just allow yourself to release into the floor. Just move any equipment out of the way that's in the way. Make sure that you're maintaining a really good straight line. And then release into the floor. Soften your jaw and your tongue and your throat. Allow the body to become heavy on the floor by letting go of the muscles of the legs and the arms. Unhooking the muscles from the bones. As you release into the floor, observe that feeling of energetic lightness that radiates from the bones into the muscles, into the organs. Basking in that feeling of energetic lightness. And when you're ready, gently wriggle your toes, wiggle your fingers, bend your knees and bring the knees in towards the chest. Have a little rock from side to side, from top to bottom. And then gently roll over onto your right side, stay down for a breath or two. And then straighten out the top leg, come back up into seated position, just cross legs. With your hands in Namaste, a final spinal lift. Draw your breath in through your nose, down into the abdomen. A samanic breath that brings our consciousness into the energy that we've released through our practice. And then draw your chin down to meet the chest. Spend a moment to acknowledge the positive energy you've created inside. And then send some of that positive energy out into the world. And then gently release the backs of your hands down towards your knees, palms facing upwards. And then raise your head, allow your eyes to softly open and the focus to softly come back. Thank you very much. So hopefully you feel as though you've really lifted your energy and you're giving yourself good